let's get down to brass tacks. Yo, here we are in the kill zone. Killjoy Jake's with me. And of course, originally, Jake, we were going to be talking about something totally different. The trailer dropped this morning, and I was backpedaling like a mother. I changed the stream, the thumbnail, the title. Everyone knows that today is the day that the trailer dropped, bro. So, let's just backtrack. I got dinner coming in. Thanks, babe.
That's so funny. We both just had like people come in. It's great. Thankfully we have people supporting us through all this chaos, right? Isn't that wonderful?
Yes, thank you to our lovelies that support us, because we couldn't do this without them, bro. Because we're dumb enough to just keep trying to do content stuff without eating or sleeping. And well, I should say I am. But anyways, real quick, everyone in the chat, thank you for being here. We appreciate you. Julie, much love. Brandon, who else we got? Erica, of course. Horror Queen in the house. Samantha, good to see you guys. And yeah, we're going to continue to talk about Scream 7. Jake, you streamed earlier. You got your video out. I was saying earlier to folks, make sure they check it out. Fate's got his stuff up. This is Lethal Collective Christmas time. What were your thoughts this morning? How did it all come down for you?
Well, my biggest things there's a few little points I've been making about Scream 7 about, I want them to handle things this way, that way, whatever. And just all of those things, almost all of those things that I have been thinking about in my brain. I hope they handle it this way, that way, whatever.
Yeah,
I saw a lot of that in the trailer. Shockingly enough, I am more surprised than maybe anybody that we saw certain things in the trailer, and I'm a very happy fan right now. I was like, dude, I'm just as I'm watching that 2-minute trailer, I'm just crossing everything off my list of like, this is all these weird things this movie needs to do, and they're doing it. They get it, man.
Yeah.
And I think another one of those big things I'll add to this point is someone made this announcement on the stream and I missed it. I don't know where the information came from, but Kevin Williamson has been confirmed to not only be a director of this film, but also a writer today. That is confirmed as of today, that he also has a writing credit. He rewrote the script that Guy Busick, the initial draft.
See, now, and we had talked a lot about, the fact that Kevin, just like Wes did, kind of go back, check out some stuff, clean up some stuff if he thought he needed to, and so forth. We had speculated and prayed almost that would happen. And I'm so glad that it was actually confirmed, because it makes sense, right? I mean, he knows Sidney Prescott. Wes isn't with us anymore. This is Kevin's ball game. This is his tree. Nobody knows this character better. And also the chemistry and the dialogue and the way that these characters can really feel special to us and real. So I'm so happy to hear that. I'm so glad that it was confirmed, bro. That was a big thing for us, as we were scared about the writing.
Yeah, and I love the Kevin Williamson written Scream films, man. I mean, I've gone on and on and on about how much Scream 4 is like my absolute favorite, from like the sequels. I love it. It totally worked for me, and I just everything we have heard today has completely changed the game of the Scream 7 conversation, in my opinion. So it's a whole new conversation. You're not going to be hearing us say bitching about the same old things, right?
Right.
It's a whole new ballpark that we're playing in now. So it's exciting.
It really is, man. I mean, in my opinion, the other thing, and tell me what you thought too, and hell, we might even react to the trailer again, because I had it queued up since earlier today when I was on. But the thing that I also enjoyed in the trailer is it looked like we're trying to get to moments of tension and horror and terror. That scene with the crawl space, I said to myself, this is exactly the type of vibes we got in those first 4 movies. A moment where we see the characters in a situation that is definitely not great for them. The characters know they're effed as well, and Ghostface is just putting his knife on the wall, or her knife on the wall, and it's like, oh my god, this could be such a fantastic scene. So I think that what we really wanted, or not one thing we really wanted, but one thing we really wanted, at least I wanted, was to really, like, really get me pumped, scare me a little bit, make me feel like, oh my God, without being like, and I think Gory B Movie said it great earlier today. I don't necessarily need a shotgun. I love that scene, but I don't need a shotgun per se, but I need Ghostface to be terrifying. And I think that the trailer, at least the way it was edited, I know trailers are only giving us a little bit, but the way that things were looking, it looks like there is going to be some amazing scenes in this movie.
Well, and that's the big thing that I'm noticing with a lot of the criticism. You know, I'm hearing a lot of people say, "Well, this feels like kind of repetitive of other scenes from other movies or whatever." But my thing is like it's done with such a darker tone. That crawl space scene, for instance. I mean, you can kind of compare that to the Jennifer Jolie chase behind the mirrors in 3, right? But that's such a campier, goofier sequence versus what this is. This feels more like something that you'd see in a Don't Breathe film, which is like I love that. That is such a movie that keeps me on the edge of my seat because I'm like, oh man, you know, when's it gonna happen? When's when's that knife going through somebody's face or something? And I just the entire time I'm watching that in the trailer, I'm like, this scene is gonna rock. Like this, I can feel the tension oozing off of this sequence just from the little snippets of it in the trailer. So for me, that dark tone flavors all of this totally differently and does make the Ghostface more terrifying. So I'm sold, man. Maybe there are some things that are reminiscent from the past. I'm speculating we're going to get another family member Ghostface based on some things we heard from literal Ghostface dialogue in this. It's like almost undeniable that that's what we're getting. But can we find a way to flavor the pot differently? Maybe it's the same meal, but can we season it in a different way? And I think that's what they've done here.
Yeah, no, I agree. It definitely has. It just has that type of feeling to it. And also the trailer obviously is Sidney centric, so it falls right into what we've been talking about, having, you know, whatever it is, 40 minutes, 41 minutes of screen time. I thought that was great. We saw the scene when Gale comes out of the vehicle, and who comes behind her? The Terminator himself, Chad. So, you know, some of these things we've talked about have come to fruition. Let me ask you this. The scene where, and you guys in the chat, let us know what you're thinking too. We'll try to get to as many people as we can. We can't get to everyone. If you send in a super chat, we'll make sure to get to your comment and or question. And also, Julie, if you could keep us, covered with the likes, thank you so much. The scene where Ghostface comes out of the attic and just jumps down looks fantastic. Everything looks very cinematic. Ghostface looks beautiful the way they've shot in this film, which I do give them credit. And to be fair, I thought Ghostface looked really good in 6 and 5 as well in a lot of shots. So I think that is one thing that, you know, they've been pretty good at. But as soon as I saw that, I thought to myself, look, this this has to be like a youngish type of person, right? I mean, that's a jump, bro. I wouldn't want to do that jump. You know what I mean?
Dude, I'm in my late 20s now and I wouldn't do that jump. Like I think about some of the stuff I did some of the things I jumped off of as a teenager. That's and I'm just like, I tear up at the thought of it now. I'm just like, no way. No, I'm never doing that at this point. Are you kidding me?
Yeah. How did I do that?
Something else I noticed when we were talking in my stream, speaking of that, is that there's a lot more like heavy breathing from the Ghostface, very reminiscent of Michael Myers in Halloween. So I am really getting the vibe that this is like somebody old and from the past. Not old, so to say, but just someone who isn't one of the teenagers. Like it's not McKenna Grace, I guess is my point, you know?
Yeah. Well, that in the beginning, when they said, reminds me of the town we grew up in, you know, look, man, there was a lot of interesting moments. Was there anything in particular? Well, I'm sure there might have been a couple things, but what are some of the things that just shocked the hell out of you? Like anything that jumps to your mind?
A few things that really like shocked me. Burning down Stu's house is crazy. Like, I mean, that's a statement is what that is. And we're opening. So I love this opening scene. Like, this is very clearly the opening scene. There's no doubt in my mind about it. Where, you know, this Jimmy Tatro and Michelle Randolph, these two actors, whatever their character names are, they're going to Stu's house. It's an Airbnb now.
Yeah.
And they've, you know, kind of dressed it up to celebrate the stab movies and the real life killings. I'm getting some energy that they're kind of have some meta commentary maybe on how, you know, true crime has been celebrated in kind of the same way as horror flicks.
Mm-hmm.
And is that, is that a good thing? Is that a controversial thing? How do we feel about that as a society? I think we're going to get into some energy of that in the flick. But then, also in this opening scene, yeah, we have Ghostface burning down the house, and there's so much to that is such an unbelievable conversation starter that I think the best opening scenes in Scream are. So
Yeah.
I'm over the moon about that being the way this thing starts. Like, I'm already engaged, I'm sold.
Yeah.
So
I am
it's
too,
great.
man.
Great way to
But
start.
here's a question though. Is there the possibility? I could see it both ways, but I am leaning one way more than the other. The scene when the house is being burned down, he lights the match and it looks beautiful. Like he's walking right, it's like a hero moment. You know what I mean? He's walking right to the camera. Could that be the ending of it though? The cliffhanger of sorts?
So it could be
Mhm.
that's the way this thing goes out, is somehow we cut away from the main story just to set up something for the next one back in Woodsboro. I
Mhm.
will say though, we're seeing that Sidney is getting a call from Woodsboro throughout. So I think she already knows that Stu's house is burnt down some way, somehow. Like,
Good point.
you know what I mean? I'm almost thinking like she's already going to know something's going down in Woodsboro and it's coming here. But
Yeah.
I don't know. But I don't know. It could totally be that. It could be some sort of setup going back to where it all began. If that's
Yeah.
kind of the energy that they want to bring with this, because we know that
Yeah.
eight's going into production like top of next year, right?
Yep. Yep. It sure is. It sure is. They're ready to rock and roll. Um, and I'm just thinking to myself that I mean I'm leaning towards it being in the beginning personally, but I think it was Eric that brought that up earlier. He's like, well, what if that's the ending? Or right close to the ending. You know what I mean? Like he's just walking and then boom. And I'm like, and I started thinking about it a little bit differently. I'm like, well, that could be interesting if they did that. Another thing too is in the middle of the trailer towards the end, um, I think Sidney says, "Don't hurt my daughter, or don't hurt my girl," or something like that. And we were talking about, what if that isn't Tatum that they're talking about? You know what I mean? Like there were a lot of things that were like coming into our minds earlier. We were like theorizing. We were we were going scene by scene on the trailer, pausing it and everything. It was crazy, man. It was absolutely crazy. My God. I don't know. I really don't know.
So this is something else. Speaking of the kid,
Mm-hmm.
something we were talking about on stream. So do you think that Sydney still has like a baby, and then also not like a baby, but like let's say a toddler, and then also Isabel May is like as a daughter? Because we saw a very young child in a stroller for in Scream 5, and that was presumably only a couple of years ago. I guess there's going to be a little bit of a time jump here, but like it can't be that much to where this character's like seemingly, like, just from how they're depicting her as a junior or senior in high school.
Right. Well, we were talking about that scene in 5, and we were trying to figure out, was that a double stroller or a single stroller? Because you never saw it from the side. Like it was funny. We were doing the reaction, and I actually had 5 pulled up on another screen, and I was looking at that scene, and she said, "Well, I'm taking the girls to school." When Dewey called her to warn her and everything. So did that mean that she has, obviously the oldest being Tatum, and a middle child, and one kid was in the stroller, or I don't know. Was she talking about daycare, quote unquote daycare as school? We were trying to figure that out. How many children does she have? We know she should have at least 2 because it's canon. 5 is canon,
Yeah.
and she said girls plural. So we're thinking it's got obviously got at least be 2, but a lot of people were talking about maybe it's 3. I don't know. I don't know how you look at it, but
It's definitely multiple. Like, she doesn't definitely has a few, but I think for me, I would just, this is so messed up, but I would love to see Ghostface just be in the room with little baby Prescott.
oh
I mean,
my god,
how scary would that be? Come on. I mean,
yeah,
that would just be crazy. I mean,
it would.
that would be elevating this whole thing to some new area. What would Ghostface do in the presence of a baby? I don't know.
Right, right, right. Well, and the other thing too is we were talking we've done so many streams on this, and all of us individually. And I remember one of my things was, to get her really invested, her family has to be in danger. And not only that, but what about if in this film, to have something a little bit different, someone gets kidnapped, you know? Like they're not killed, but they're captive, they're kidnapped. So it looks like, that could come into play as well. And like Ghostface said, well, I'm not gonna, what did he say? I'm not gonna kill her until you're here to see it, or until something like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which is totally sadistic. I mean, dude, this trailer, it was giving us the feels. It really, really was.
Oh yeah.
No doubt at all. Now, real quick, too, in the chat, I just want to jump to these guys for a second. We got Ben coming in. Thanks so much, man, for the super chat. We appreciate you, brother. Saying, Knight and Jake, my guys, I'm fine with Stu returning if they give us a rational explanation of how he survived the television. I'm revisiting Halloween 3 tonight since I have my kids tomorrow. Well, there you go. Good choice. We love Season of the Witch. And of course, Jake, you got your video that was out, Season of the Witch. And that was a great discussion. By the way, and I should have said this to you backstage, but I didn't get the link for the collab thing.
Oh, I thought I sent it to your email. Did that not?
Yeah, I didn't see it.
I'll do it again. I'll make it happen.
Yeah, unless I missed it. But anyways, great conversation. Ben, thank you so much for the super chat, brother. Talking Star Wars is with us again. What are going to be the rules in 7? Ooh, that's a good question. Thank you so much for the super chat, Jake. What do you think will be the rules? Do you think it'll be a big deviation or anything new, or what do you think?
I don't know. Again, this just feels, we say this every time, but it really does feel like some like very new energy about it. And I'm feeling less like commentary on slasher and Scream itself here, and I'm feeling more of like, in terms of like what are the rules are going to be, what's our commentary angle for like, movies and stuff. I feel like we're actually just getting away from a lot of that stuff. I feel like we're getting more into just general things that hinder the film industry right now, which again, like going back to like that true crime conversation that is clearly established in that seemingly opening scene. I think there's also going to be a little bit of AI commentary. We heard the voice of Dewey and Stu, if I'm not mistaken, in this trailer, which that's got to be some AI bullshit, which is crazy.
Oh my God. But I love it. This is going to be fun. It's like, oh my God, that was amazing. Yeah. Let me ask you this. Dewey's voice, first of all, Dewey, in my opinion, and I know you've said it too, but Dewey's not going to be alive in the flesh. Okay. I just don't see that. I could see, with the deep fake stuff or whatever, obviously the voice, but the way it sounded to me with that voice, it sounded devious. It didn't sound like Dewey. Dewey, even in 5, even though he was grizzled and beaten down and so forth, he never sounded like that, like devious. And that's what it sounded like here. But I gotta admit, Stu, I'm not saying that's a line he says when he's alive in the flesh, but it sounded like Stu. It sounded like Stu what he does. I mean, any thoughts on David Arquette and also Stu? And then we got to move to Scott Foley as well.
Yeah, so I'll say I was saying this on stream. I have a very complicated feeling about all this. They've already announced that all these actors that are have died in previous films are coming back for this movie. I'm not somebody who I want to see them alive. I think it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. But on the same side of that, they've already announced them as coming back as, that's exactly the wording when we got these announcements. Right. David Arquette is back as Dewey Riley. Matthew Lillard is back as Stu Macher. Roman Bridger back, Scott Foley's back as this character. If they're not on screen as these characters in some way, shape, or form, that's like clickbait to me. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like if they're just back to get into a booth and like kind of do some lines as Ghostface, because they got like, Ghostface has got like a new voice changer, which makes sense now because we actually have that technology versus what they did in Scream 3. That's a whole another rant. But point being, that just feels cheap to me, like that feels like you're setting our expectations at a certain point and then you're not delivering on it. Like they're just delivering lines. They weren't on set. They weren't getting, their hands messy. That's what you can't promise me something like that and then not deliver there.
So do you think so with Dewey? What do you foresee? Do you see him like in a flashback and or something like that, or what?
Well, yeah, Courtney Cox has kind of talked a little bit about how, and I'm paraphrasing here, but she had a quote from
Hmm.
earlier in the year where she said something along the lines of, like, we couldn't do a new Scream movie without testing the relationship, between Gale and Dewey. So I think we're going to
Yeah,
get like a really wholesome flashback, like towards the end. Maybe
yeah,
after all the chaos is settled down, maybe we get a little something of, like, maybe a scene of them in between like 3 and 4, when their
yeah.
relationship was at its height, kind of thing. Just
Some
something to flashback, essentially.
Yeah, something that she thinks about, and it kind of like fades into a flashback or something. I could see that. Or, well, look, we'll talk so many theories from now until February, anyways. If something happens to Gale, what if that's one of her last thoughts? Is a flashback or something? Would that be heartbreaking or not, man? Because I felt like, Dewey dying, obviously, it was hard. I do agree we had to have consequences, but I just felt like if he was saving Gale or maybe stopping Ghostface from attacking Gale or something like that, it might have, hit a little harder, especially because the relationship had gotten so rocky and you could tell that they still had love for each other, but it just maybe wasn't meant to be. And so that's how I would have rather have seen, in a perfect world, and it's not a perfect world, but that's how I would have rather have seen Dewey die, is maybe a scene where he sacrifices himself for Gale and she sees it and she has to live with it. And I
Yeah.
think that also would have given her more to do in 6, because she really didn't have anything to do in 6 except the chase scene slash should have been kill scene. So okay, so Dewey's in a flashback. Scott Foley earlier, a good friend Eric the Bearded Entertainment said Scott Foley's going to be shown in a Ghostface costume. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to bring back Roman, he's like essentially the impetus for all of this. He is the thing that kicked this all off, according to Scream 3 lore, or his whole monologue. I feel like you're only bringing him back if you're doing something new with that. If you're telling us something we didn't already know, and that's got to
Right.
come from whoever this killer is. There's some kind of connection to not only Stu but also Roman. And
Hmm.
I really think this is, whatever this is, my big theory revolving around it is, I've heard Kevin Williamson just dog Scream 3 to pieces. Like he's polite about it, but he
Right.
clearly does not like Scream 3. And it's not his own. They threw out his notes. Everyone knows this whole story, right? And they just kind
Yeah.
of did their own thing with it.
Right.
But I really think this is Kevin Williamson doing some correcting, and now that it's confirmed that he's the writer, it's like
Yeah.
that's totally what's going on here, dude. He's taking
Yeah.
the character of Roman and what's already established with it, and he's gonna throw his own little twist on it and maybe make it better. Because I've been very vocal about this. I think there's things that I love about Roman, and there's things I strongly dislike. Like there's no in between. It's either love and hate. And I think you could polish that up a little bit and make it a little tighter. So maybe
Yeah.
we do that here, and not only kind of fix some issues that I have with Scream 3, but like maybe we're building a new story off of it entirely with Scream 7, something we don't find out about until like the killer is revealed, whoever it ends up being.
Yeah, I think that would be the best of both worlds because it validates 3, it validates Roman, and it also changes our perspective. It's just like when you first watched Scream and you saw it and you're like, yeah, this is really cool. I love this movie. But then you watched it the next time and your perspective was different because you knew certain things had happened and you focused on other things that you didn't see the first time. So I think that would be the best of both worlds, because if they change something and make it better to validate Roman or Scream 3, and tie it into this, I think that would be great. I mean, it'd be a home run.
I have to address the chat real quick. Yes,
Yeah.
for those of you just joining us, Kevin Williamson today has been confirmed as one of the writers of the script. Which this is
Yeah.
this is news. This is all new. We did not know
Yep.
this until today. And also, I think one of the reasons why a lot of us have had doubts about
Right.
Scream 7 was he's just directing. It was just like, it was a head scratcher, right? It was just like one of those, like, felt like such an obvious, like, he should write and direct. Like, what? Not that I have
Right.
anything against Guy Busick. Again, I gotta stress that I will defend Guy with my life because I really like a lot of the stuff that he's written, even outside of Scream, which I think is even better. But
Mhm.
Kevin Williamson just knows these characters in particular. So like if we're
Right.
gonna go back to Sidney, you got to have Kevin writing. That's just a
You do.
horrible decision otherwise, you know. So, but sorry, I totally sidetracked. I saw like three people
No.
were like, "What? Kevin Williamson's writing? What's happening there?"
Yeah.
We had to inform.
No. Thank you so much, man. We got a lot of people doing a lot of stuff. And by the way, real quick, we do the Kill Zone on Thursday nights every week. We swap back and forth between here and my man Jake's channel. If you have not subscribed to Killjoy Jake, make sure you guys do that immediately. Erica or Julie or Val, if you could put Jake's link in the chat. And of course, if you haven't subscribed to the Night Watch Zone, please do that. We are going to be having a rock and roll party from here until February. And it's going to be awesome. Also, if you haven't hit the like button, please do that. I will definitely agree that the Kevin Williamson news is huge. If you were to give me an idea, and also the audience, of the percentage increase that you have as far as the confidence level in Scream 7, can you give us a picture of what that is? I know for me, before hearing that news about Kevin, I was maybe at, I don't know, 70%, maybe 75. Now I feel like I'm like, at least 15% higher, knowing that he's got that credit.
I was like 50-50, dude. I was like 50-50. This is either going to be, surprise hit or maybe not. But now it's a totally different game. It's a totally different animal entirely. And not only is that good news, in my opinion, that Kevin is once again writing these excellent characters, but I'm seeing things in the trailer that I'm just like, this is exactly what they needed to do with all of these characters, exactly how they needed to handle it. We've talked a little bit about how I just don't think there's any more tension left to write with chasing around Sidney Prescott with a knife. You have to get more complicated with it now. We have heard from multiple people, if it's Kevin Williamson recently or Nev Campbell multiple times in the past, they're never going to kill Sidney Prescott. Nev Campbell's never going to agree to a script where Sidney dies. So knowing that, for me, there's no tension if she's getting chased around. If she's getting chased around, I'm thinking about those interviews now. And that's my own fault for being too big of a fan and looking into literally everything, but I can't help it. So with that, how do you build tension with Sidney Prescott in the lead? Your main character is not going to die. What do we do to do that? You have loved ones around her that could die. So Knight, there's two big things with this, man. It seems like from the plot description, Isabel May's character is kind of the focal point for that's what Ghostface is targeting, and that's terrifying for Sidney to lose her daughter. I mean, that might be worse than death, arguably,
Oh, absolutely.
And then also on top of that, I think Joel McHale is dead and they spoiled it in the trailer. But I'll tell you what, I don't care. I'm happy. Like, dude, I've never been so happy to have a death spoiled in a movie. I'm like, Mark is gone, and that's totally okay because that builds suspense. That makes me think they could kill Tatum at some point if they're going to kill Mark. I'm already there right now.
Right. No, good point. It did look like it was a spoiler. We had stopped it, and we were going frame by frame. And Eric was like, because he had seen the trailer first before any of us. And he said, because he knows, we try to stay away from spoilers as much as we can. At least we warn people first. But he's like, yeah, this is the frame that's going to spoil something. And I'm like, well, it's in the trailer, so let's just go with it. And yeah, it looks bad for our buddy Joel. Although, as we know now, people can survive 17 stab wounds and then be in the back of an ambulance, lift their head up and chuckle. So, I mean,
you might see him weekly give the thumbs up with blood squirting out of his neck. Who knows?
Oh my God. It's so true, man. It is so true. When you heard Stu at the end, for me, I just had a smile and my heart kind of, fluttered a little bit, obviously, thinking of our brother, Steven. What was your vibe with that voice at the end? Did anything pop into your mind?
Well, they're definitely teasing Stu. I mean, there's no doubt in my mind about it. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Dude, and even before that, there's little subtle things. Did you notice when we're at Stu's house, we see the outline of Amber, we see the outline of, where I'm going with this, with Richie, we see the outline of Billy, but we don't see the family room. We don't see the living room or whatever where Stu would have died. And that was done on purpose. You can't tell me otherwise. Like, there's no way. And Here's my thing. If I'm the Scream marketing team, I'm
Hmm.
going to make you think it's Stu, whether it's him or if it's not, because that's going to drive conversation. Hell, it's been driving conversation since Scream 6 came out. If, oh,
That's
maybe they'll
right.
bring back Stu in the next one. That's been, I mean, it's been a talking point for literal years now. So of course
Yes.
the marketing team's going to do that, just like how they did with Scream 6. If you remember, like there was multiple
Yes.
times in that marketing where they were like, I don't know, Stu could be alive. I don't know. Why
Yeah.
wouldn't you do that? I mean, it's just one of the biggest fan theories. So it's one of those things where I feel like we can't trust the marketing. It's very
Of course.
clearly misleading. But I was thinking about Steven the whole time, and I was just thinking if he were here right now, he'd be calling me, getting me on a stream, and we'd be talking about his
Yep.
craziest new Stu theory.
We would, man, and his eyes would have gotten so freaking big, and that smile that he always had, and I really, we were talking about it earlier. It was just that bittersweet moment, but overall, just like, yeah, man, it's gonna happen, and you've been calling it, and you've been wanting it for a long time. I mean, when I say it's gonna happen, we're at least gonna have, something. If it's just a voice, if it's just a deep fake, sure. Again, I think you get Matthew Lillard involved with this film, you you have to it has to happen. I mean, obviously it may not, and I'm prepared for that, but I just feel like it's an opportunity that is just waiting. I mean, it's literally waiting, and not only that, but being that 8 is greenlit, we were saying this morning, how perfect would it be for the marketing if at the end we get that reveal, that he is alive, something, whatever it may be. It could be the last 10 minutes or less of the film. We're thinking it's a deep fake or AI. We see that the voices of Dewey and this person and that person and Stu, and then at the end it's revealed, oh, wait a minute, he's actually back. And I mean, how many people are going to be like so hyped up for Scream 8? I mean, it's literally it's the perfect pitch for a home run, in my opinion. I mean, and again, there's some folks that don't want to see him, and I get that, and I can respect that. But I just feel like it's a big opportunity that's right there to take. It really, really is.
Well, there's no doubt Matthew Lillard is in a renaissance right now. I mean, for
Oh
me
yeah,
to not utilize him in a new Scream movie at all would be a missed opportunity, And with him already being a part of the cast, I just feel like he has to show up in some way. And like for me at least, I think what I love about Stu is, and I wouldn't want to turn him into a different character. And that's my
hmm,
whole thing. Like every single Stu Macher is alive pitch that I've ever heard, just it doesn't sound like the character of Stu. It sounds like we're making
yeah,
him into something else. And there's no, there's no cause and effect, to get him to that point. If he's been hiding out in a basement for 30 years, how is he a cult leader?
right,
I
right,
I just think if I want to get Stu, I want to get a flashback so that Matthew Lillard can go back to that mindset he was in 1996 and
hmm,
deliver a real funny over the top performance, and that would be great. That would be a lot. That would be a lot of
yeah,
fun.
it would.
And also, if they just did like a super simple, everyone hates this. Everyone hates this idea too, but that's just how it goes when it comes to theories. If they did a Halloween 2018 approach where it's just direct sequel to the original, Stu's been in prison this whole time, he survived. I
Hmm.
wouldn't care. I wouldn't bat an eye at that at all. But the problem is there's been so much history since then. There's been so much that has happened in the
That's right.
sequels. But I could go on and on. I
Yeah.
will say if they bring him back, I will be happy because I know that Steven would have loved it, and I know that he would be with
Yes.
us in spirit, saying, "I told you."
He would have been like, "It happened." Oh man,
Yeah.
just thinking about it gives me goosebumps. Um, at the end, regardless if it's a true cliffhanger or not, do you think Ghostface is finally going to get away? We know they've toyed around with that idea since way back when about Ghostface, obviously surviving or something. What do you think?
Well, I think if Kevin's back, he's going to want to do something new. He's not going to want to do exactly the same thing.
Yeah.
Just seeing some of his other writing, he definitely falls into you know, there's some similar things you'll see from some of his other little projects he's written. But I think when it comes to Scream, you know, he's the guy that wrote the original, which was the whole point of it, was to kind of, you know, hold a mirror up to the current state of the slasher genre. I think if you're going to make a sequel to that, you got to find a way to kind of do that again in some unique way.
Right.
Just try to reinvent the space one way, shape, or another. And I don't know. For me, I really think a cliffhanger could do that. It's just it's a tough thing to handle. I don't think I don't think I want a cliffhanger where we still have like maybe 6 more characters alive and one of them's Ghostface, because we're gonna figure it out in between movies. Like, that's just the way the internet works. We may already have the killer figured out for Scream 7. You know what I mean? And we just got the trailer today. Right. So I really wouldn't want that. I would want some sort of like dramatic irony where the audience knows already, but maybe the characters in universe don't. That would be fun. That could work to me.
Yeah, I agree with that. The killer or killers, there's a couple of scenes, and I think I'm going to play the trailer at least once so we can just kind of, you know, take it in. There's a scene where we noticed that the killer looked really slight in the shoulders. You know, the shoulder. I mean, I can't even imitate it because, you know, I'm a man. We talked about the possibility of maybe one of the stunt folks being a woman, you know, to portray a female Ghostface killer. Any particular thoughts on that?
Oh yeah, I'm like 100% sure Anna Camp is the killer after this trailer. Listen, you know, you should never say never, and you should never be 100% sure of anything before it happens. But
right,
dude, like, look, if you're gonna try to misdirect me, okay, if you're gonna try to, misdirection is not about making you just think one thing and then it turns into something else. It's not making you think that this color is red when it's actually blue. It's making you think that this thing, all these things that we're setting up are leading you down this path, when in reality, all of these things are leading you down a totally different path that you didn't even realize. But all those things are still present when we get to the ending. So we know that whoever the killer is connected to Woodsboro, is connected to Stu in particular. That's why we're burning down his house. There's no way it's not.
Yeah.
It's Stu's sister. That's what it is.
That's what, go ahead. Yeah,
dude, listen, I hate to be this guy, but I'm 100% sure it is Leslie Macher. And why is she targeting the kid? Why is she targeting Sidney's kid? Because her fucking kid, exactly. Yes. Vince died 2 movies ago, and that's what set this whole thing in motion. And she's been planning everything since the events of Scream 2022. It's going to wrap up everything nice and neat so that 5, 6, and 7 now are all kind of a trilogy, even though we're following different characters.
Yeah.
See, you know what I mean? Like, that to me would just make these movies all work in tandem. There's also connections to 5 too, a ton of connections to 5. I mean, the ending of that film also took place at Stu's house, and now we're starting it there, burning the place down, where the killers who took out her kid also died. So, I mean, it's the perfect way to connect to not only the original, but to Scream 2022 into a new story that wraps everything nice and neat into a little bow.
it does wrap into a nice bow, but let me throw this at you. If Stu is alive, okay, let's just play devil's advocate. If Stu Macher is alive in the flesh, could this be a possibility where he's manipulating his sister, or kind of stirring the pot type of thing? You know, this is all Sidney's fault. You know, she you know, whatever, tried to kill me, yada yada yada, and everything came to fruition, and it killed your son, my nephew, blah 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 blah. I mean, could that be the way that he's like the ultimate reveal? Like, you know, this whole brother and sister tandem, Stu kind of manipulating his sister. I mean, I don't want to go much further than that right now, because that could go into another rabbit hole. But what do you think of that? Could that be the way that it could be him in the flesh as part of this?
I mean, I don't think it's impossible by any means. They're very clearly setting up Stu, but I just it feels very obvious.
It does.
You know what I mean? Like, it feels like that's the obvious answer of where to take this after everything we just saw in the trailer. And more than ever, like, you know, we were talking about Scream 6 earlier about how they were marketing that movie in a way to kind of make you think like, oh, maybe Stu could be involved. It was little things though. I mean, it was like that one poster, for instance, with all the different transits that made up like a Ghostface face and all the stops were all the different killers.
Yes.
The point where it was Stu Macher, it was a slightly different color. So everyone was like, what? No, oh, what's that? That's got to mean something. It's even more in your face with this trailer. I mean, every 10 seconds, there is something that you can connect back to Stu. I'm not even kidding. Like, if you go back and watch it, there is something. Even if it's really subtle, there's so many moments like that. The last thing you hear, like you said, is Stu Macher's voice. Just, like, again, if it's me marketing a movie, I don't know if I would want to make it that obvious that it's like, oh, that's our big reveal. That's the big thing. You know what I mean? That's... I don't know. That to me would be something I would want to avoid in a teaser. But I don't. Again, it's possible. It's not. There's not a 0% chance by any means. I mean, I might have a bias against it, but throw that out the window. Will it happen? It definitely could. Matthew's in the cast. We already know this.
Yeah. I mean, I think the only way you can combat that, as far as making it too easy to figure out, is having, you know, just different levels, you know, to it to confuse people, which obviously this whole AI thing could do, and obviously how the reveal is done. And if there's multiple Ghostface killers, and when I say multiple, I'm always thinking we get at least 2, but maybe we have 3 or 4. You know what I'm saying? And maybe some of that is what gets us really in the weeds with it, because again, that scene when Ghostface jumps down from the attic, you know, I'm just saying, I'm thinking it's got to be a younger person, right? I mean, I don't see it being them making us believe that that's Stu, you know, or Leslie. I mean, I don't know. I mean, just thinking about it, it's like, I just don't see that. That's a big jump. It really is.
You're really hung up on this. It's really funny. I didn't even think about that until you brought it up.
I am, man, because it was just done like it was nothing, like it was a Tuesday night, you know? I mean, that's hard to do. I mean, even when I was in my early 20s or whatever it is, you know, doing martial arts, like my dad has that type of attic with that type of drop. At least it looks like it's the same type of drop. And I'm telling you, man, that ain't easy. So anyways, let me jump to the chat real quick, and then let's throw that trailer up. I'm really excited. Let's see. Jason's coming in. Thank you so much, Jason. We appreciate you, brother. Jake and Knight, you're both all right. Tonight, let's separate the apples from the oranges. Stu Lives Alligator remake needs to be done. There you go, man. I love that.
Jason's undying love for Alligator. I can't tell you how much it makes me happy, Knight.
Right? And Phantasm.
And Phantasm. Yes.
Yep. That's right. He is the man. They need to pay him some money, man. Seriously. Jason coming in again. 2 bits, 4 bits. He always does these little rhymes. Dude, you're all right. All for the NIGHTWATCH zone, and Jake, stand up and say so. I love it, man. He always trips me out.
Is the leprechaun here with some crazy limericks or something? I love it.
He always does some cool rhymes. I love it, man. He'll take like quotes from movies and interchange, you know, channel stuff into it. It's just it's cool, man. It really is. Thank you so much, brother. We appreciate you, Jason. Night Owl coming in the chat. Thank you so much. We appreciate you. Imagine Chad's double stabbing scene in 6, but instead of Tara, Sam, and Chad, it's Sidney, Gale, and Dewey, but more emotional. And this time around, he doesn't come out alive on a stretcher at the end. Ooh, what?
Everybody wants Chad dead. I love Chad.
I know.
I love him, man. I don't know. I'd be sad. I will say, Mindy. We haven't talked about Mindy yet, dude.
Yeah, I love her hair. She looks.
I love her hair.
She looks amazing in this trailer. Dude. I love Jasmine.
I think she's gonna die. Straight up.
I think so too. That scene, I will say this, and we're gonna play the trailer in a second, guys. So get yourselves queued up. That scene where she hits that ghost face, and it looks great. Her hair like moves in the frame and everything. I was like, good for you, because in 5 and 6, she's always getting her ass handed to her. I'm glad that she has a moment of like offense and looks badass. I think she deserves it, to be quite honest.
Dude, yeah, there's so many times in those movies where she's like, just something quick happens and then she's out. She's down for the count
Yeah,
in the third act. It happens both times, and I'm just
yeah,
like, what? Like Mindy didn't
yeah.
make it to the third act either movie. Come on. So I
Right.
hope she at least makes it that far. And then dude, I don't know, man. That fight in that, it looks like a kitchen or something.
Yeah, it's in the kitchen area of the. Yeah, I was like, wow. Mm-mm-mm.
I think
Crazy.
well, I think it would be really emotional to kill one of the twins and then have the other one live on, because then
Yeah,
you have them being able to deal with something new. You know what I mean? I don't
right.
know. It could be either or. I think I honestly I would be a little more sad if it was Chad. I'll say that,
Hmm.
but I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Real quick, too, we also got Kyle in the house, stepping in, returning to the membership. Thank you so much, Kyle. We appreciate you, bro. Hope you're doing well. We're having a blast today talking about the trailer and hope you've enjoyed it as well. Ben coming back in. Thank you, Ben. Saying Stu either returns after sidestepping certain mortality or he's in a grainy VHS tape revealing the Ghostface manifesto or something like that. Oh, no. I look after seeing the trailer, and I know we're gonna do this 1,000 more times until February, but just as a real quick moment, after seeing the trailer, what's your percentage on Stu being alive? Is it 50-50 or
It's like 30-70, honestly. And
okay?
like I'm just really hung up on the whole it's too obvious thing. Like my first
Yeah.
thought after watching that trailer was, oh man, they're teasing Stu. And like if that's
Hmm.
my first thought, you know what I mean? Do you really want that to be the first thought in your audience's brain?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
No, I
oh, I have
know.
the whole thing figured out. I don't know. It's just my thoughts. Even if it is Stu, if it isn't Stu, I don't even know if that's a murder mystery at that point, if I'm being honest. I
That's
think
true.
it's more just like shock value. So maybe they don't even care about that at this point. Maybe they're just like, we're just gonna reveal Stu. There's not gonna be any sort of clue towards it, before it's just bam, Stu's in your face. He's alive, baby.
Or what if 7 is a setup? There's multiple Ghostface killers involved. Stu is the manipulator or pulling the strings. He's revealed, and then 8 is like kind of set up as like a more of a mystery type of scenario. I mean, sounds weird. I know this. It just came into my head. My head's been flying all morning, all day long.
Yeah.
So if that sounded bad, please forgive me, guys. But I mean, you've got to wonder if maybe they're figuring, or maybe they might be thinking, look, we've been laying breadcrumbs in 5 and also 6. All of these folks in the Scream community, so many people want to actually see him. Let's give it to them and then transition it into some type of new mystery, some type of new story that, will be amazing or what have you. I don't know. I mean, I guess anything could be possible until we actually see it, but I don't know.
There's also, the question that I don't hear this brought up too many times, but like, what happens when they actually do it, and then what happens moving forward? Is Stu just going to keep coming back to life? Is the conversation gonna die if it happens? I don't think so. I think that
No.
there's going to be people who just want to see Stu come back and over and over and over again, and that kind of defeats the purpose of Scream. So, is it almost better that we just keep teasing it and never doing it? Which is like, you know what I mean? Because
That's a good point.
it's always gonna drive conversation. I feel like the moment that it does happen, does that conversation stop, or do more people kind of hop off the train because it has happened, and maybe
Yeah.
they're just kind of the interest in Scream wanes. I feel like something that drives a lot of people to the theater every single time one of these things comes out is the possibility of Stu coming back. So
Yeah.
why even do it opposed to just teasing it? I don't know.
Yeah, no, I remember you saying that before, and there's a lot of value and logic in that because once you let the cat out of the bag, boom, you know what I'm saying? It's done, so to speak. But the other part about it too is, when you look at where Nev is right now in life and where Matthew is and so forth, I mean, maybe they're just thinking, hey, this is the time to do it. It's 30 years since the original, these guys are getting up there in age. They're still capable of obviously doing a great performance. Maybe it's just time to do it, get it done, and then the movies will move on, from Sidney Prescott in some way, shape, or form, even if she might still be in the background. But as far as giving her a standout Sidney centric film or films, this could be it. You know what I mean? Maybe that could be a way they think about it too.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, dude, like anything is possible right now. Even now that we have seen the trailer and we got a little more of a vibe,
Yeah.
there's some sort of connection to the original. That's undeniable. And with all these
Right.
characters coming back, something weird and big is going to happen with this movie.
Yeah.
And I think it is going to be that big punch of this might be our final go around. You know, the way that they're teasing it is like this is. I think a lot of people are going to say, "Oh, it's the final Scream." No, it's not.
No.
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 I think it may be the final legacy story, and then we may be
Yeah.
moving on to something new next.
Yeah.
And I think people don't want to hear that, but Scream is going to outlive Nev Campbell. It's going to
It
outlive
is.
Matthew Lillard. It's just this is way too big of a franchise, and in 40 years they're going to be doing Scream 15 in space. I promise you.
Right. All right. I mean, all franchises do it. Friday the 13th has outlived so many of its folks. Halloween outlived Donald Pleasance, who is absolutely amazing. And it's just going to keep going that way, for these legacy franchises. These legacy franchises are legacy franchises for a reason, because they withstood the test of time. And I'm pretty sure Scream's lifeline is not just 30 or 40 years. I think this thing it's gonna be going on long after I'm gone. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because these are the new Universal monsters. They truly are. And if you look at it that way, I mean, look at Universal monsters. I mean, to this day, we still have Dracula movies and Frankenstein with Guillermo del Toro. I mean, we're talking 80 years. We talk, yeah, 80 years worth of just being depicted by different people. So, real quick, Jason's back in. Fate, Stu is alive. Craven, Fate, that's too bad. Miss you, my friend. Night, thank you once again for last night's rewatch party. Meant a lot to us. Well, thank you so much too, man. I had fun doing that, and it was a fun way, to watch it and kind of replaying an old watch party that Steven was on, and a lot of good laughs. There was a lot of good laughs, man, and I was really happy to do that. Brandon, thank you so much for coming in, bro. Will we get the same coverage for Scary Movie 6? Hey,
Yes.
I'm excited for Scary Movie 6. I am hyped. I'll tell you that. We'll see how it is out there for the community. I do hear a lot of people really excited about it though, so it wouldn't surprise me if we get a lot of hype around Scary Movie 6.
Dude, I think there will be. I mean, if you think about it, it's the other Ghostface franchise that's also bringing back Ghostface. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, like, dude, I think there's going to be a lot of excitement for it.
Yeah, I think so too. Night Owl coming in again. My dream is for Gale's videotape from Scream 1 to play a part. The whole event from the first movie was recorded on tape when Gale hid her camera in the living room. That's right. Maybe there is something there. That would be a really cool thing, because the video camera was there, and maybe it does show something. Who knows?
We've heard some sick theories regarding that, things that it could have captured when all the other action was going on. Maybe just a quick moment with Stu doing something. Someone else was there, maybe that we didn't know about that night. There's a lot of things that could have happened for sure.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for that. That was a great theory too, by the way, Night Owl. Houghton, what is your favorite scary movie? I love that. I think Stu shows up with minutes left and stabs Sidney's daughter in the neck. Then it goes to credits. What do you think? Cliffhanger. Well, first of all, thank you so much for the super chat. That is rough. Jake, what do you think? Do you think it's going to be that type of a cliffhanger where, Stu's revealed and then he, looks like he mortally wounds Tatum and then it cuts?
Oh man, I'd be so upset if they got me invested in this new character and she's dead. I mean, it would be a shock,
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think I want. I don't know. I just don't know if that. I think I'd just be upset. I'd just be like, "What? That's the last
Yeah.
note we're being left on. That's crazy."
That would be rough, man. Oh my gosh. All right. So look, thank you so much for that super chat, man. We appreciate that. Real quick, and hey, we got Shanta in the chat. We got Kenny. We got a ton of people in here. Again, if you guys haven't hit the like button, please do. If you haven't subscribed to Jake's channel, it's been in the chat. We're going to put it in the chat again. We do this on Thursday nights, flip-flopping between our two channels, and it was just meant to be that the trailer came out, and we're just going to be rocking and rolling. And Fate already said, well, I guess I know what we're going to be talking about on the Lethal.
Yeah. We'll
Like,
be talking about this for 4 months, I think.
Yeah,
Something
much.
tells me.
Heck yeah, man. Mark is saying, personal theory, Matthew will be the Drew Barrymore of this movie. Audiences come to see him and Stu is alive, but the opening kill, it would be a meta nod to the franchise's beginning. Holy pumpkins. Wow. That would be crazy. Is it? I don't even know what to say to that. It would be super meta, but holy crap, man, that would be rough. It would be rough.
I think, if I'm being honest, I can complain about the logistics of bringing Stu back to life or whatever, but the thing that bugs me more is like people saying he's a cult leader and he's been manipulating every movie since. That's the biggest thing I'm not all about. So if you just said like he's rotting in a basement somewhere with like thinning hair and his skin's all, white and gray or something, and he's like a little golem, my precious, I can't do the voice, but you know what I mean. He's just vibing somewhere just with his mask and stroking it like all day and all night. Right. And then he gets killed. That's really horrible and upsetting, and I kind of love that visual. So
yeah,
maybe a wet, damp basement. Can I do a little test for you? Like he's kneeled down in a loincloth. I've watched too much Lord of the Rings recently. That's what's going on here. Yeah.
Like, what are we doing? That's awesome.
That's what I'll take that. If that's the stew we get, I'm all about it.
Well, Matthew said, and this was a video I just talked about the other day. Matthew said that he doesn't know if it works because it's a risk, and he said it was a risk worth taking. So, I'm not going to lie, and this was before I saw the trailer, obviously, but it made me think to myself, maybe it is something super wacky like that. You know what I mean? Like he just doesn't come back in the traditional sense, and, we get this showdown eventually in 8 with him and Sidney. It could be something like that, and holy well, wow.
And I will say, I don't know if this is exactly what's happening, but it is another thought I had watching the trailer. Is again, we have this like celebration of true crime that's apparent throughout the trailer, and I brought it up a few times tonight, but that's another reason why Stu could be alive. You could spin it down. Someone is so obsessed with this guy that they saved him after the events of '96 somehow. When Stu was, or when I don't know, when Billy and Sidney were fighting, whatever, you could say like, oh, someone else came in, there was another party somehow, some way that saved him, and then has like kept him in a basement somewhere, and then you get that scenario where Stu is like this crippled, just broken monster basically that's been living in a basement somewhere, but like just worshipped by these people that just love him for what he was able to do. So I don't know, you could spin it down that path if you really wanted to make that work.
Yeah, I guess so, man. It would be crazy. Or one thing that I was saying earlier today is, what if part of Scott coming back is that it also, maybe they show a scene where they're talking about, plans for Maureen or what have you. And what if there's a scene where it shows that Roman was involved with, kind of, faking out everybody with Stu. I mean, obviously he got to the point where he was big into movie magic and faking deaths and all of that. Maybe he had a knack for it when he was younger. You know how a lot of those folks start out. Tom Savini was doing stuff way before he did movies and so forth and so forth. What if that's another part of the connection that Roman has to this film, to again bring everything together, bridge everything together. I mean, it's possible. Is it the most logical thing? I mean, I don't know, but I mean, we've seen Stranger Things.
You know, and that's my other thing about like just stories and Scream stories, especially. Like they mean something. You know, we are doing these people are the killers not just because hey, let's just create random characters and then randomly throw some marbles, you know, and decide okay, these are the killers. That's not how they've picked Scream killers. You know what I mean? Like these like Richie and Amber, for instance, represent, you know, toxic fans, and you might not like that angle to them, but that's why they're younger characters. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's if they were older, like let's say they were in their 60s, that whole plot line wouldn't have worked. You know what I mean? So like if Stu's the killer again in this film and he's an older version of the character, you have to have the themes present to make that work. And could you do that along the lines of like, well, you know, we look at there are people who worship these old serial killers, you know what I mean? So could is that the route that you could bring them back? I might be able to get into something like that if it's done cool enough. It's rule of cool is still very much so present in this franchise, where if it rocks so hard, I don't even care about the logistics. Weapons, I think, is a great example of that from this year.
Yes.
There's like 100 plot holes in that movie. Do I care though? Not at all. It's a masterpiece. I'll stand by that, man. It doesn't make sense that kid was able to buy chicken soup for all those people I'm getting into spoilers, but
yeah,
you know what I mean? Like that doesn't make any sense. But do I care? No, I don't care at all. That movie rocked. That was awesome. So
that bathroom was amazing.
That bathroom it took a pounding, dude. No, but point being, rule of cool still exists. If they can do it in a really cool way that feels so screamy, that feels like this is just undeniably Scream, that I'm forced to like it. I can get into that.
Yeah, no, I definitely can agree with you on that. So look, man, real quick, let's check out this trailer together just for the fun of it. I know you've seen it a ton of times. I have too, but I figure, you know, let's just do this together as we start to wind down a little bit, and you know, maybe see if anything else pops into our mind. All right. If for some reason it doesn't sound right or look right, just let me know and I'll try to figure it out. But this morning it worked really well. All right, guys, in the chat, we're going to queue up the Scream 7 trailer. Get yourselves ready. I'm going to be playing on screen, and let's get ready to do this thing, man. Okay. Let's do 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
This is it.
Can't believe we're staying at the Psycho Killer B&B.
Watch this movement.
Oh, that's so cool. It's a motion detector.
Do that. Oh.
This scene is going to go so hard.
Yeah, it is. Oh.
Hello?
Hello, Sidney. Did you miss me?
That's significant too.
Nice little
I think so.
You and your
the original
daughter reminds me of where we grew up.
Well, you
see
sure
the
know
dirt
a lot
there,
about me
Jake?
for another asshole hiding.
Yep.
Oh, I'm not hiding, Sidney. Not this time.
Something interesting about that cut I want to point out afterwards too.
He did a Michael. That's Michael. This is going to be a kick-ass scene.
Yeah.
Oh,
I want to be a fighter.
That's terrifying, dude.
yeah.
If you hurt her,
I'm not going to hurt her until you're here to see it.
let's unmask this fucker.
There they are.
All your friends died
Oh,
for just being near you.
really?
Where is my
Goner.
daughter? Tatum, listen to me.
This is great.
He's trying to find another way in. We're gonna do this together. You're gonna have to shoot him through the wall. Where? To the right of the door. Shoot him now! Do it now! Oh, you got it. He's dead. You need to make sure you shoot him in the head.
Right? Oh!
I'm gonna burn it all down.
Mother!
Yeah.
This is gonna be fun.
Oh, man.
Yeah,
amazing.
That's sick, dude.
So amazing.
So I do want to point out when Ghostface jumps out of the attic, this is something I noticed. In the background, you can see like a Woodsboro thing. I'm pretty sure that's Stu's attic. So I think there's going to be a scene up in there.
All right, let me move forward a little bit because I want to see that. I didn't notice that at first.
So like you can't really see, it's too dark to see, but it looks like one of those like yellow like Woodsboro high school flags, like that's in the original and also in Scream 5. So right there, when he jumps down, you can see it like in the like it's I'm trying to point to it, but you can't see what I'm doing. So if you look to
now. Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, I can't see.
yeah, I'm like I don't know how to explain this, but you can kind of see it when you like if you go back just like a hair more. And it is back. There's like one of those yellow flags. We saw them in Scream 5 as well, which makes me think that it's that house. And it's like, dude, I had to like throw up the exposure was all the way up to even kind of get a glimpse of it.
Oh,
right there, maybe.
Is it on the right?
Yes.
Like me looking
bottom
at the screen?
right.
Yeah. Yes. Yep. I see it. Wow. Dang. I didn't even think about that.
So I'm kind of sure this is a different scene. Maybe maybe Jimmy Tatro's character gets killed up there somehow. I don't know. It's just a thought.
But I mean, look at this. Ghostface he's not even just like, from the first step just dropping. He's like doing a Marvel's Avengers movement here. He's jumping up and just boom. You see that?
Yeah.
He's jumping up just like boom. We're talking Batman style. That's a great shot right there. It almost feels like a little homage to 5, the scene with Tara. Some great stuff there, man. Absolutely fantastic. It looks great. It looks like it's going to have some great tension. Man, I'm just so hyped up about it. It's crazy.
I'm just so glad the trailer looks good. I was so worried that it wasn't going to look good. I'm just so I'm so happy. I'm just like, this is exactly what I was hoping for. So
yeah, absolutely. It really does. And another thing too, when we get to further down in the trailer, I just want to move forward a little bit. I think it's through here. And we get Chad's reveal. Look at this. This scene, if you look on the knife, there's some red on the knife there.
Ooh.
You see that right there? Yeah. So someone just got it, and he's going after the next victim. There was another thing I wanted to throw out at you. Look at how slight those shoulders look.
Yeah.
I mean, again, I know, and everyone's gonna say it. Obviously the stunt folks. Don't compare them to the actors, and that's true. Although, and we were talking about it earlier, wouldn't it be a kick if in this one they truly did try to match some physicality a little bit, or maybe for the first time having a stunt woman? I mean, I'm not saying that's what's going to happen. I'm just saying, what if, because I'm just saying, man, those shoulders look really, really slight. They really do. It could be nothing,
or it could be everything.
Great.
Who knows? Who knows? Also, Celeste O'Connor's dead. 100% about that. She's hiding behind the bar there, and then we see a scene later on where Ghostface jumps at her. I think that might be her blood on the knife.
I think so too. And look at Jasmine. This looks fantastic. Oh my God, she looks amazing in this scene. Look at that. Look at her face. I love it. I never even thought I'd be repping so hard for Mindy in this trailer, but I don't know. It's weird. Like, as a fan of the franchise, and I really did enjoy Mindy in 5 more than 6, to be honest. I didn't hate her, and I think Jasmine is a talented actress for sure, but maybe it's just because of that connection to any character in the franchise that I've had any affinity for, and I just feel like, I'm glad to see her doing something that looks so badass right there. It really looks great.
I'm just happy she's doing something here, opposed to just being wrong about everything. This is exciting. I know this is sick.
And poor Joel, it was fun, buddy.
Goner, dude, like major goner.
Yeah, man. The movie, the trailer looks great. Obviously we're gonna continue to talk about this forever. Look at the 4 shots too. It looks like there's 4 bullet holes. See that right?
Yeah.
It's funny because Gory said, "Why wasn't it 6 to homage Halloween? Shot him 6 times." They might have missed an opportunity there. But yeah, it looks great. And also when Ghostface rises up here, the knife is away, and they don't go for the knife. They just kind of come up and grab. So that was kind of interesting too.
Yeah, they just go right for the gun, right?
Yeah, just kind of go. Look at this shot right there. It looks great.
Dude, yeah, that's sick.
Oh my God, this movie.
I had someone say the cinematography looks boring, and I'm just like, what?
Really?
I'm like, actually, that was one of my biggest notes. I think the cinematography has improved quite a bit from the last 2 films.
It looks like it. I mean, put it this way. I mean, I think Ghostface looks amazing. Like
Yeah.
pretty much every scene in this trailer, Ghostface is looking money, in my opinion. I mean,
Dude,
he just
yeah.
looks great. Look at this. I mean, I'm gonna burn it all down.
I mean,
it's
that's
like,
a crazy shot. Like, that's awesome.
yeah, and you need to have those type of shots. I know we always kind of go back and forth, but I think they had some amazing shots of Michael, in the Halloween trilogy, and I do think there were some good shots of Ghostface in 5 and 6. You have to have that. This isn't the 80s anymore, or even the 90s. We got the money. Let's make these villains look great, because that's what people are so connected to. They're connected to Ghostface and Michael and Freddy and Jason. You know what I mean? So you got to make them look good.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think.
With how many like crevices there are on the mask too, I'm just hoping they get the lighting right, which I'm getting really, really technical, but
Yes.
there was this picture, and I never watched it, but there was a Disney show or whatever where they had Darth Vader come back, and that's also a mask that is like, you have to have a lot of lights on it or you're not getting all the different angles. And it was just like, you could tell it was just one down light, and you could only see parts of the mask that were illuminated, and it looked horrible. It was terrible. It's like, oh my God, that's not how you light Vader. Are you kidding me? So it's kind of the same thing with Ghostface, and I'm getting really film school nerdy, but
Hey, no, it's good. I love it. I love it, man. I mean, everything looks great. Hey, motherfucker. I'm so excited for Sidney too, man. I really, really am. Nev looks great. And look at this. Look at the body being dragged.
someone was pointing out in the comments that there's another body in the background. You can kind of see it there.
Yeah, I see it. Yeah, all the way in the back. Yep. Who
Who
knows?
is this? Who is this being dragged?
We were trying to figure that out earlier, because this is kind of like a flannel type of, short shirt with a long shirt over it, and we didn't see anyone in this trailer that was wearing that.
Yeah.
So we don't know who that is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yep. So yeah, man, this is crazy. It is absolutely crazy, man.
Bloody and gory, man. Loving that.
Yeah, and again, now Ghostface is saying it looks like Chad in the back. Maybe.
Oh,
It's hard
no.
to say. It's hard to say. You think they're finally going to make it happen? I don't know. It looks kind of like, and again, I can't see it well, but it almost looks, I don't know. It doesn't look like a guy, but I could be wrong. You can barely make out any features, but I don't know.
I'm going to
Hard to
brighten it
say.
up. Just study the hell out of it. Ruin the movie for me,
Yeah, hey, man, that's kind of what we do. Carrie was saying it's not Tatum's boyfriend, is it? Who knows?
Ooh.
We were talking about that earlier. Maybe it could be. So, well, guys, this was a blast. Seriously, I mean, I knew we'd be geeking out and just talking about all the ins and outs of this thing. We're going to continue to do that because we've been waiting so long, and now it's here. It's great, and I think a lot of folks are really hyped up with the trailer and all the stuff that they were able to do, and I think they did it in a way where, again, unlike 5, I don't feel like things were ruined. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I feel like it gave us the vibe. It showed a hell of a lot of Sidney, so we know it's a Sidney centric story, like we had always been hearing. So that was good to have that confirmation. And it looks like, even though we see some crazy stuff, it looks like, look, this is about a mother, you know what I'm saying, trying to protect her daughter or daughters, whatever, kids, from going through the same stuff that she went through. And I mean, what better story could you tell at this point in Sydney's life? To make her relevant, to make her want to be a part of this chaos and terror. I mean, obviously, like you said, there's nothing worse than if you're having your child being killed. She would sacrifice herself before having her child killed. Most of
Right.
us would.
Yeah.
So, anyways, I think that this could be a really great thing, and the story could be very strong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a lot of faith, and I'm just I'm hoping it delivers, man. It would be nice to have 3 in a row like that.
Right. I know. Oh my God. It would be fantastic. Well, guys, look, we're going to get ready to head on out of here. We appreciate all the support and everyone that's here. Again, make sure, if you haven't already, subscribe to Killjoy Jake. We've had the link in the chat several times. We'll be on his channel next week on Thursday, but I know him and he's going to have a ton of content way before then, maybe even by the end of this night. So keep a lookout for him. We're going to be doing the Lethal Collective on Monday. I'm going to be back on in a little while. So I'm going to take a quick break because I was eating dinner. But I do want to thank all of you guys. And also, I'll be having a special community announcement that I'm really happy to share with folks. And, it's really, really special. So we'll be hanging out later on and just chilling and enjoying these last few hours until Halloween. So, Jake, thank you so much for doing this, man. I know you've had a long day with all of this as well. So, it's always good to talk with you, man.
All good, man. Ain't no rest for the wicked, baby.
Ain't that the truth? It is
Yeah.
so true. I feel like I've been going all day, but I'm running on adrenaline. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy.
Night, when I tell you that I am taking a break next week, like literally we're doing Killzone on my page, and that is all I'm doing next week.
I hear you, man. I hear you. You deserve it, brother. You deserve it. All right. Well, guys, thank you so much. Don't forget to hit the like button. It helps us out so much. Seriously. And we're going to be doing more stuff like this. So definitely think about supporting us that way with the like button and also subscribing. And we will catch you next time. And as always, if you're watching this, if you're listening to this, you are the Night Watch. Peace.